What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, you're watching TWA Motorsports, and today we are back on the shop truck. Okay, in the last video you saw we got that rear end installed. I've already got dust all over it on my new paint because look at the bed or the frame rails. It's gross, right? But anyway, we also left off with me knocking a few of the rivets out. So in today's video, we're going to knock the remaining rivets out. But before I do that, this looks like it's been replaced before. That bolt is facing the wrong way. Normally these bolts, I think, face out like this one. See how that bolt's facing? I'm going to start by getting those bolts out. Should be a 20, I think those are 21 or 22 millimeter. But here's a trick. If you don't want to reach in, which we have room to reach in right now, but if you don't want to reach in, you can actually use a 12 millimeter here with a wrench here and actually tighten it, and that will back that off. So I think that's where we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and get the bolts out of that, and that way when we get this thing completely loose, it should just fall to the ground. So let me get my impact, and let's start by getting those loose. Sometimes you can go ahead and try to loosen it, which is what I do. And then what we will do is, like I said, we'll tighten. Bingo. And that's that. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, it doesn't act like it's going to come out. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and I may get the wrench on the back side of this and go ahead and pull it all the way out. It's probably going to flip that leaf spring up. Not a big deal. We're going to have to put a jack under this once this is all removed anyway. This thing can only go so far. So I was originally going to put some jacks under it, but honestly, I don't think it really matters because it can only swing up to this point, and I don't even know that it'll go that far. If it does, we'll use a jack on the back of the truck back here under the hitch, and we'll lift the truck, which will then in turn let the front of the leaf pack down. But I want to get this out of the way because the plan here is to paint this, let this set overnight, and then we'll put it back together and pull it out and power wash all this. Well, cool thing is last night is when I was finishing up that video, but I left the easiest ones. So I left this one in the center and this one in the center. And it was definitely a lot cooler with it half outside, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna go get some earplugs actually, because this thing, especially in the shop, is crazy, crazy loud. And I honestly don't want to listen to it. But I think to protect myself a little bit, I'm going to do this one first, and then I'm going to hit this one last. Yeah, that one went ridiculously quick. I knew it'd come up. That wasn't too bad. So now you kind of see what we got going on here. I've still got to push. Look at that rivet still stuck in there. But this is what we wanted to remove. I'm going to keep these because I don't know how many people have reached out to me. I did a video, it's been several years ago before the shop was even built, where I took a buddy of mine's 4-inch and took him to a 6-inch. In order to do that, guys, you have to put the stockers back in. And so I happened to find some, but people ask me for these all the time that maybe bought a truck with a 4-inch and want to go to a 6. It is not a good idea to leave those aftermarket ones in and try to do a flip kit. It just doesn't work out. So anyway, this is the area that I'm wanting to paint. So what I'm going to do I really hate that this plate's here. But I think I'm gonna leave it. And the only reason I'm gonna leave it is because if I do ever decide to go back and do a 6-inch or a flip kit, I may want those there. It's not necessary, but I think I am going to leave them. But I do need to press this out the rest of the way. Man, let's get some pressure on it, don't they? And then I'm gonna go do the exact same thing to the other side. Before I do that though, I am going to lift on the back of this to give this a little tilt forward so it's not quite as abrupt when it comes loose like you guys saw. And then we're just going to, I'm gonna scuff this, wipe it down. I just wanna paint behind this area because I will never be able to reach this. I'll probably also paint the leaf pack here in the area, probably up to here, you know, where I can't reach once I get this all assembled. Now, as far as the areas that I'm painting, you can see that I've kind of just roughed this up with the Scotch-Brite. Just kind of scratched it up, went all the way up here. So now I'm gonna wipe it down with some alcohol. And we're gonna get a coat of paint on this. I'm not gonna show you guys that, just gonna use some POR 15. Get these areas where this is gonna set, because we're not gonna be able to get behind it. Also, I'm gonna do this because we'll not be able to get to this either. And I don't know if I'm gonna eventually do the whole frame or not. Kind of backed off that, but I'm definitely going to be power washing this. So let's get this. I'm just going to put one coat on this. That'll be good enough for what we're doing. I'm going to kind of get it pretty thick as POR 15 can get. And we'll take a look at it once I get finished. I'll show you guys when we're finished, and then hopefully it'll dry overnight and we'll start back on this, putting it together in the morning. It's the next morning. You can see what I got accomplished as far as paint. I just painted that area on both sides, and now we're ready to grab our new hangers and see if we can get them bolted on. Now this side is relatively easy because there's no gas tank. The other side, I may have to get a little creative trying to get a bolt in there, but let me go grab one and I'll show you exactly what we're doing here. This is the piece that we took off the turbo truck. And so what it does is you can see that it brings this hanger way up. And so you got a couple options here. We can, in my opinion, I think the best route, it depends on which way you want to put your bolts in. If you're using your factory bolts, you're going to have to put it in before you put this in place. So basically what we'll do is we'll slide this down. We'll grab the bolt. Actually, it's back here. If you're using aftermarket bolts, you could go the other way because you could get a shorter one. This one's got a big head on it. And for some reason, this truck has an aftermarket bolt on one side. I don't really understand it, but see if we can get this lined up. Now, what this does do is it makes it virtually impossible for you to ever take this off without unbolting these, but that's fine. So now what we'll do is I'm going to lift the rear end a little bit, see if we can get it in place. I've got that jack. I guess I won't be lifting the rear end. I'm going to let the back of the truck down, and hopefully this thing will slide up into place so we can get these 4 bolts started. I'm going to attempt to start them from the back. Well, no, I take that back. I'm actually going to put them through forward. Should be, whew, that's good. I want them to be tight, and that is perfect. Yeah, that'll work good. May make lining them up a pain, but believe me, it'll make our life a lot easier. It'll make it a lot stronger with it being that snug. Now you should be able to force the issue here. I'll tell you what I need to do is I need to go grab my impact so I can get maybe one of these started or 2, and then I'll use an alignment dowel to get this front one lined up, because it's going to be tough because the rear end wants to swing backwards. But let me get this one all the way through and we'll see what we can do with the others. That one started with the nut on the back, and then I let it down a little too far. So we're going to lift it up a couple pumps. Maybe we can get the second one started on the other side. There we go. You can see what I'm talking about, how much easier this is with the bed off. I couldn't even imagine trying to trying to pull this off with the bed on. I mean, it can be done because people do it, but crazy. Especially since the bed's only 8 bolts and a couple plugs. Just take it off. Now all we got to do is put the 2 bottom ones in and then struggle with the other side. That's going to be fun. That's definitely going to be the fun part. I have to use the ratchet to walk this one in. I'm gonna see if I can find a torque spec on this. I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I've never, like I said, since I bought these used, I don't have any instructions or anything, but I think we'll be good. I have been struggling, guys. So here's what I ended up doing. There are 2 15 millimeters that hold the gas tank up. So my struggle was I just couldn't get back behind to get the nut and the washer started on these. So what I did was, there's a 15 millimeter that comes up right here in this opening, this tube, and there's another one that has a threaded nut on the actual body itself. So I took those 2 15 millimeters down, and you could see the straps to the tank are down here. This one folded completely under, but that one did. But you can see I've got a jack and a wooden block under there. I don't remember how much gas is in this thing, but I don't think it's maybe half a tank, 3/4 of a tank. So what I did was I just put the jack under there, loosened those 2 bolts, and then dropped the tank just slightly enough where I can get my hands in there and get these snug. So now we're snug here. This bolt is an aftermarket bolt, but it also had to go in backwards. So I had to kind of move stuff, take it apart. I didn't show you guys that. I thought I was filming, but apparently I wasn't. Anyway, I'm just gonna go through and get these pretty tight by hand. We'll worry about tightening these later once we actually have the suspension loaded. So let's put it back together. Like I said, I'm gonna tighten. I've got them snugged up, but I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it, lift that gas tank back up, put the 15 millimeter bolts back in, and we should be good to go. Now that we got the 15 millimeters tight, I did snug up the new hangers, obviously to the frame, but I'm talking the actual bolts. I just snugged them down. We'll go back and torque later, but oh man, I was afraid of this. So this thing has a lock on it. I want to take this spare tire out. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's perfect. So now let's see if we can get the tools to spin this thing, drop that spare tire, get it off there. And then I want to take that, I think it's a 15 millimeter. This guy right here in the middle is all that holds that plate up in there. I wish that there was a bolt, but that's a captured nut on the top. Let's see if we can spin this, get that. Hopefully it still works. I've only taken a billion of these trucks apart in the past, so I had one of these sitting up there. I believe, like, this guy right here goes in first. So, yep. And we'll put an extension on it. Well, I may have to put it together first. There we go. Can't find the opening. So once we get that in there, then we should be able to put this on the end and spin it. So this guy right here just spins this down. And it should lower that little trolley in the center. We can get our wheel off and our tire. It actually uses an open end instead of that one, but it is working, it seems to be. So you can see I'm spinning it, and that tire is coming down. It'll only come down to a point, and then we should be able to, once that thing hits the ground, actually it's a little lower the ground now, so it may go all the way down. Oh, wow. That took a lot of weight off the back of this thing. May have to lower it more. Anyway, now that we got it on the ground, we can push that thing out of the center. get the tire out from under it, take the bolt out, and then there's a little hook. So the hook's in, and then that 15mm bolt, and we'll get this out of the way. And at that point, I think we're ready to pull it outside and power wash it. Got that out of place. Next thing I think I want to do is I'm going to take the hitch out. It just gives me a little better cleaning in my opinion. So I'm going to pop these loose. This was out recently when I did the lowering shackles, so it should be somewhat loose. I'm going to see if we can just unplug everything maybe. I think we can. Should be able to. I may take two hands to do this, but oh, there we go. So we'll just loop that up, and look, we're going to give it ample time to dry, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. But the hitch itself is held in with 21 or 22mm. There's two through bolts, you can see here and here, and then the one in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these two, get these two out on both sides, so these four, and then I'm going to pull the spare tire back and kind of use it to help me set this thing down, because it isn't the lightest thing. We'll take these 21s out last. We got it all ready to go. I'm going to drag my pressure washer out, and I won't show you guys this, but we're just going to pressure wash that frame in the back, top of the gas tank, get all that old junk and debris hopefully out of the inside of the frame. Oh, there is one more thing actually that I want to take out before I start pressure washing, and that is the factory bump stops. So I think they're a 15mm here, maybe a 13 on those. I probably better spray those with some PB Blaster or something to loosen them up, but I need to get both those out because I'm going to be putting new ones in. This is what we've got after we power washed it. Definitely looks a lot better. We got a lot of the dust and dirt off of it, but I'm not satisfied. I think I'm going to paint it with some POR 15. Those areas that I already done looks so good. So the area right there. Now look, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to paint the inside of the frame, but I'm going to paint what's visible. Okay, so what I may do is take the wheels off and get it up a little higher so I can get on the bottom side of some of these rails. Obviously, I'm not going to take the gas tank down to do that one, but this area back here, so like all our wiring and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and use a small flat blade. We're going to pick these apart. And I'm just going to walk this stuff up to the front and kind of lay it on the gas tank out of the way. This one obviously has a 10mm ground there. But I think the result will be much better if I do that. I already pulled I took my pry tool and pulled the little thing out here. So I'm going to take that loose, and we'll just kind of walk that stuff, like I said, up to the front, lay it over the center of the gas tank, kind of out of the way. And let's get to rocking with some POR 15. I got a majority of this coated. Now you can see I didn't do the inside. I did paint on the underside of these two bars. I didn't really mess with that area. I wanted to get as much painted as I could and then get this truck back together so it's not tying up so much room in the shop. So the plan here now is that I've got that together. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch my wiring back where it was at. I'm going to put, I'm gonna get the shocks. We're gonna get those in place. We'll talk about that. And then we need to torque everything while we've got it, you know, ample room here, I think would be the easiest. So I've also got to get my 2 bolts back in that hold my e-brake cable. Those aren't in the right spot. What else do I need to do? I've got a couple, obviously these that I remember I took these out. Yeah, I think we can get it all back in place. Now, if you remember on the turbo truck, it had a set of Beltec lowering shocks meant for this amount of drop. So I painted the bolts a little bit, and we're gonna put these into place. Might as well use them since we have them. Once I get both sides in, I wiped them down a little bit. They're not perfect, but once we get both sides in, then we'll go ahead and torque these down to 70 foot-pounds. I probably should wind this up a little more, but 70 foot-pounds are what these guys are going to go to, both top and bottom. So we'll get those torqued down, and then we are going to move on. I'll get the bottom ones off camera here. I'm going to move on to torquing these front hanger bolts, which are going to go to 110. Now, while I was down there torquing the bottom of the shock, I did completely forget to do the bottom, or the U-bolts. So I hit the U-bolts, 53 foot-pounds on those. Seems loose, but 53 is what it calls for, so that's what I did. Shocks are 70 top and bottom. If you unhook this, 70 foot-pounds top and bottom here. But now we need to do the 110 here, so I'm gonna try to sneak a wrench in right there. I think I can get an adjustable end wrench in there because I don't think I can do it any other way. These are quite a bit bigger. I don't think these are 21s, if I remember correctly. I think they're like 15/16, I think is what fits that best. I will tell you this, doing this with the bed off is by far easier than with the bed on. Goodness, 110's a lot. Doesn't seem like a lot, like on a wheel or something, but that's a lot there to me. Last thing I need to do here before we actually position this thing and try to get the bed back in place. Remember the 10mm we took out for the ground? I did paint that, but then you can see I've scratched off an area for that to ground out. So let's get this 10mm back in, and then we just need to position it back under the lift here and see if we can slowly let the bed down into place. I'm kind of excited to see what kind of drop it looks like once we get the weight of the bed on it and whatnot. I'll probably just throw the spare tire in the back for now, just to get it out of my way. It's sitting outside currently. The only other thing I haven't done here is I haven't put a bump stop in. I think I may have some, so let me see. If I do, I may throw some of those in real quick and I'll show you. I actually do have some bump stops here. 4922, I'll try to list it in the description down below, but these will fit and be, you know, kind of a soft landing point. I don't know how much, you know, I tell people all the time, if you're going to do a 4-inch drop in the rear, you really need a notch. And so down the road, we may end up having to do a notch on this thing. But for now, let's ride with these. Should be able to snug them down. Looks like what, like a 9/16 or 1/2 inch. At this point, I got the bed set back on. Now I'm gonna have to move it forward, as you can see, but it's on. So it's good enough where I can pull it forward now, get it out from under the lift, hopefully, and see if we can get some of these bolts started in it. Remember, there's 8 bolts. Got my gas door lined up. So we should be good to pull forward, and then I'll crawl under it and see if I can get a bolt started. Probably have to use an awl to swing the bed forward. I'm not gonna pinch my finger off. This is what I did last time. Me and Cohen were setting a bed on, and I slid it too far forward and caught my finger between the frame rail and the bed and chopped the end of my finger off. So I don't want to do that again, that's for sure. We'll step back and look at it a little more once we get the bed bolted down, but let's swing under here. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So you can see our holes aren't quite lined up here up top. So the plan here, oh goodness, we need to bump the bed quite a ways forward. You can see how far off we are in the hole. The factory puts this in here to help you get alignment. I might be able to get a small flat blade screwdriver in there. It doesn't take much to move these beds, so I may be able to get away with that, or I may just go nudge it in the back a little bit. I went around and tightened all 4 of those bolts. What I will tell you guys is don't tighten any of them. Just get one started. Once you get it squared up like I was showing you, then go to maybe the opposite corner in the back and check that one out. Because on this one, I got this one squared up, but then the back was off. So once I got the back centered up on the opposite side, then I came over here, and this one was pretty close. But go ahead and thread all of your bolts in before you even think about snugging one down. Otherwise, your bed may set crooked because you have one hole lined up. But anyway, we've got it looking good. So now I'm going to put our clip down here in the bottom, and then our 2 I guess these are Torx up top. I really should take some time to paint these. I may go back and do that later, but you can see there's some overspray. Like I said, this thing's been painted on at some point, but not a big deal. Like I said, we're not going for perfection, or we would take the time to clean all these bolts and do that. I have went a long way, but anyway, let's get these snugged up, and then we got to go back under there and hook up all our brake lights and all the wiring that we unplugged to lift the bed off. I don't know if these are labeled or not. Maybe they are. Purple. Oh, they're purple. Okay. So they are labeled. This one's purple, so it goes here. Ooh, I see that. It says purple on it. You know what? They only go on a certain way, I guess. So maybe it's dummy proof, I don't know. I feel like if somebody could mess it up, that'd be this guy. And last but not least, the blue. All our lights should work. Now for now, I'm just gonna tie up my line for my trailer, because we're gonna address something different down the road here. I've always hated this big plug that just hangs out on the bottom down here. So I may try to do something different. I would love to incorporate it here. I think we could probably make something like that happen. We'll just have to see down the road. I'm not ready to do that yet, and I want to clean that up and paint it so it looks nice on the back of this truck. So for now, let's just zip tie this up. So it's definitely lower. It's getting ready to storm, or I was going to take it down the road and see how it would drive, you know. I mean, we're going to do the front eventually, so it's kind of got that Cali lean, Carolina squat, whatever you want to call it. Not my style, but we've got more stuff coming here, guys. Look, my only issue right now is my e-brake will not hook back up, okay? The 2 lines that run along the side, they hook to a bracket that goes to the single line that goes up and into the cab. And for some reason, it feels really loose. I don't know if there's a spring that's missing out of the mechanism or something. I've taken it all apart off camera, messed with it, and I just can't get, there's not enough adjustment in it to make it tight. So I don't know what exactly is going on there. It could be something like a spring that broke internally in that. And I don't even know if it ever worked, to be honest with you. I have never tried it. So it may have been something that was broken a long time ago. But for now, I have those lines zip tied up on the side because there was just too much slack in it. It would have been dragging the ground. But I think this thing looks way better. We're definitely going to have some better braking now. Obviously, we got a 373 with a good posi, all new fluid. I think it looks great, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let me know if you unhook the e-brake, does that thing have a spring or does it click? I need to know that because I have not messed with that much. It'd be easier to show you on my green truck here. So this deal right here, this front line has a ton, and I mean a ton of play in it. I've got these 2 lines ran up. this piece would just fall off if I tried to hook it up. You'll also notice that it's not because it's lowered, because this one's slammed, and I don't have an issue with that. I did have to zip tie some of that stuff up. But guys, look, we've got some more stuff coming on that truck as well. But if you guys have been enjoying some shop truck stuff, let me know in the comments. Of course, we've got more to go. I got to get these door panels back in. I've got some new speakers to put in, so look for that video coming soon. But if you are enjoying it, guys, please smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, go down, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, ring the bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we do on this truck next.